Good evening and welcome to the Free Press Journal. We are tracking one of the most severe aviation crises in recent memory as India's largest carrier, IndiGo, enters its fourth day of massive flight disruptions. The chaos has been witnessing over 500 flight cancellations on a daily basis, with thousands of passengers stranded and tempers flaring at major airports from Delhi to Bangalore. On the screen, you can watch the visuals of chaos that has erupted at the nation's largest airports. This is more than just a typical delay. It's an operational collapse that is sending shockwaves through the country's aviation sector. The disruption is primarily linked to a critical shortage of flight crew following the full implementation of a new, stricter flight duty time limitation. With us, we have a guest who has witnessed the chaos and bore the brunt of the system's apathy firsthand. We have with us Mr. Dr. Sameer Dalwai, who is a well known doctor who was traveling from Mumbai airport yesterday. Uh, I would request him to be brought on the screen. Yes. Welcome, doctor.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, sir. So, can you please tell our viewers about your travel plan and what actually happened once you reached the airport last evening?
So I had a flight at 7:10 in the evening to Delhi, and since afternoon friends kept telling me that if you're going by Indigo, watch out, the things are getting delayed, etc., stranded. So I kept checking. Then initially there was a 2 hour delay, and then there was 1 more hour delay. So it was told the flight will take off at 10:10. In fact, I contacted a friend of mine who's a pilot with the Indigo. Then he asked me to watch out. It said till next flight was at 10:30. So I reached the airport, and after reaching the airport, then they made there was no gate displayed. Then there was an announcement for 12:30, and then I came to know it's at 2 a.m. Finally, I left. So the point is, I had a very important meeting at the CBSE office in Delhi this morning, and then from there, I had a connecting flight to Guwahati, and then I had a flight back home on Sunday. So you see, it's a chain reaction, and what happens is you are not sure what to do. And I could see it's okay. I was going for some work, but there were expecting mothers, and there were infants, and especially elderly senior citizens, and it was very sad to see the kind of ordeal that they had to go to. I'm calling it the Indigo imbroglio. But the area what was really shocking to me as a citizen is, oh, this was like a man-made situation of not following rules and all. That's what I'm told. Maybe we'll bring it up in your session. But what happens if there is a natural calamity or a disaster? It was completely chaos. There was nothing that was. It looked like the airlines was prepared for it. They hadn't given any thought that if something goes wrong like this, what will we do with the passengers or with the safety of the passengers, or the forget convenience, but even the lounges were super crowded, and I could see it was very harrowing time. People have connecting flights. Somebody must be going किसी के घर में कुछ अच्छा बुरा हुआ होता है. So I think the key message here for the citizens is, if something goes wrong, God forbid, this was a man-made crisis, flouting of rules or whatever. But if something really goes wrong, nobody's prepared. Nobody has a clue. The crew isn't trained. The ground staff isn't trained to deal with any massive calamity like this, and that is the real disappointment.
Definitely, doctor. As you said, we have seen videos coming on the social media. A video which went viral this morning, where a man was, desperately asking the Indigo ground staff for sanitary napkins, but because his daughter was menstruating. There was this another young guy who was requesting Indigo for an alternate flight just so that he could attend his own wedding. So, sir, I want to know from you, what were the scenes at the airport? What did they look like actually, and how were passengers actually treated by the airline?
But I was surprised many of the passengers did maintain their cool, because this is very, very frustrating for people. Like you said, somebody who has to go to his own wedding, or somebody has to go to a relative who's seriously ill in the hospital. And like you mentioned, a lady menstruating there and not having been given the support. Infants crying, not having, if you're not carrying excess say, milk or whatever formula for the child, it can get very, very bad. And the sad part is people were feeling let down, because Indigo was otherwise quite, that's why they have so many passengers, and we always, look forward to it. But it was very disappointing that there is no thought given to what happens to the passengers if something goes outside the SOP. And this is the real disappointment. I know the government will take some action and some rules, etc. But what is a wake up call is nobody cares if the passengers have a problem. It's like herding people into a vehicle and transporting them from some place to the other. I am surprised that people were still maintaining their cool, but scenes were very bad. And imagine the people at home worrying about a parent, a senior citizen stuck somewhere, or you're worried about your wife or your daughter stuck somewhere, not knowing what time. A colleague of mine was flying from Amritsar, another pediatrician, and it was just a 5 hour flight from Amritsar to Guwahati with a temporary technical halt at Kolkata for about 15-20 minutes, maybe refueling. She had the flight landed at Kolkata 5 hours late, and she had to spend 14 hours at Calcutta airport on the lounge as a lady. I can't tell you. I mean, she was really distraught. Neither, neither. And that is what is very. I mean, I could come back home because I'm from Mumbai, but the my heart goes out to those who are still stuck at the airport somewhere, hoping to connect and get back to their loved and near and dear ones.
True. True, sir. This was what Dr. Dalwai faced yesterday and what thousands of others have faced at multiple airports across the country. But we should tell you that the crisis deepened today, forcing an unprecedented step. All domestic Indigo departures from Delhi, Chennai, and Bengaluru airport were cancelled for a significant part of the day, and the major hubs were turned into scenes of frustration and confusion. Although the aviation regulator DGCA has given relaxations to Indigo, but just a few moments ago we have had a big news coming in about the Union Civil Aviation Minister giving out a statement saying that the FDTL norms, which was at the center of all the massive chaos, that FDTL has been placed in abeyance with immediate effect. The minister says that this will help stabilize operations and prioritize relief for affected passengers. Joining us now to break down the sheer complexity and safety implications of this crisis is Captain Anil Rao. Captain Rao is the General Secretary of the Airline Pilots Association of India, who is also a designated examiner on the Airbus A320. Captain Rao, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Daria, to have me on your channel today, and quite surprised and saddening to see what is happening in with the passengers.
Captain Rao, the last thing first, just moments ago, the union minister has tweeted that the FDTL has been placed in abeyance. How does this affect, especially the pilot community? It has been fighting for this. There was this long battle that the community has stood up to get these FDTL norms placed in India. What does this change, and what changes for the community and the safety of the passengers if FDTL is placed in abeyance?
See, on the onset, I'm surprised myself and pretty shocked also, because we had a meeting at 3 p.m. today with the Ministry of Civil Aviation and with the DGCA himself being there in the meeting, and with other association and unions who were present there to discuss about the present scenario which is happening with Indigo operations. It is just not about Indigo; it is for any airline, any operator who are compelled, who are supposed to implement these regulations which have been made by the regulator itself. There is no two ways about it. So now we were told that to cooperate, because to resolve this present situation and not to cause any more inconvenience to the passengers. So we pilot association and unions were asked to cooperate with them, and said yes, of course we are here to cooperate, and safety is our primary paramount importance for us is safety. And of course passenger inconvenience comes into picture, but cannot be blamed on crew shortage, which I doubt even if there is any crew shortage. Now, coming to the point of abeyance, I'm quite surprised because we were not told about it. They said that we expected that probably the dispensation which was given to them yesterday day before, with DGC had given them a special dispensation to Indigo. We probably thought that would be what it would a point of contention, and they would use that dispensation to regularize their operations. But I'm quite surprised that the whole regulation, or the duty time limitation regulation, has been put in abeyance. Means what we were doing the last 2 years, we we went to the court. We got orders to implement it. Implementation was done in phase-wise manner. On phase-wise manner, further dispensations were given. So we have been following this up with the regulator and MOCA for almost in January or February, it will be 2 years. And prior to the rollout of the FDTL, that is the car FDTL 2024, operators already had got given a good 6 months of prior notice for them to implement it. Even after that, they were given phase-wise implementation. To be a surprise that this abeyance has put us back 6-7 years back in duty time. The whole idea of this upgrade of duty time is to enhance safety, because there's a lot of study which goes on, and over the period of time, rules and regulations have been amended so as to increase or enhance safety. That's all. So what we are trying to say is, by putting a rule in an abeyance, you're gone back in safety. So basically, you made yourself unsafe than what you're today. So you've gone back 6-7 years back, which was the condition that time, and that time operations were a little different than what we are today. So the whole crux of the matter is that why is a rule there? A rule is there to save people. It is nothing to do with a pilot community or employer or employee or operator. It is just that the safety is enhanced. But by doing this, I don't know what the whole system wants it from this abeyance rule, putting in abeyance. It clearly shows that it is in the interest of the operator, whose interest is commercial needs. That's all.
Yes.
The preference is commercial. There is nothing else. So we are quite surprised. Alpha India and other bodies are very surprised that we were not expecting this abeyance. We were expecting something else. We were expecting rather that they will implement these rules more strictly. But this is whole rollback of the rule which has been fought about for the last 2 years. So it is not nothing to do with pilot community. We are not bothered. We are not bothered about the way it has been implemented. We are bothered about passenger safety. It is finally their safety which is important to us as well now. So having said that, it takes us back about again 5-6 years back, and the whole study of this FDTL, which was scientifically proven and done with international standards and collaboration with other pilot bodies abroad. So these things have put us back in nowhere. I mean, we are back to square one. That's quite pretty sad about it.
True, true. Captain, isn't it contrasting that while the whole world is talking about air safety and they are pushing for new norms and stricter norms for flight duty, and on the other hand, we in India, we are seeing, rollback of such an important law. We were already lagging behind in terms of implementing such important laws, and now we stand here, after such a long battle, we still stand here where we started from.
So, Dharya, I would say that I am not surprised that it has happened. I am surprised that it has happened second time. It is not the first time that an FDTL has been put in abeyance. The first FDTL which came was in 2007. Okay, before that, there was no FDTL. Pilots used to fly on a circular called AIC, which was issued by DGCA. Does not come out as a rule or regulation. It can be tweeted the way the operators want. Anyways, those days there were only two major operators, domestic and international operators. So most of the rules were dictated by them, and the operations also were not as extensive in nature. So 2007 FDTL was made with consultation with operators, pilots, everybody. With ICAO, everything ICAO standards were taken and FDTL was made. And for again, same thing, it's like deja vu. When the FDTL was rolled out, the operators went there, put pressure on them, and the FDTL was put in abeyance again. For how many years? 4 years. Till they came up with another new rule or regulation. FDTL regulation was in 2011. So the country was actually flying with no regulation for almost 20 years with self-regulation. So where are we now? So we are doing the same thing back, which we did 20 years back. So,
True.
I mean, it's surprising that we are repeating mistakes or repeating violations again and again. So it is a kind of violation that having put a rule in place, you're taking it off and saying that it is for passenger inconvenience is not the correct thing to do.
Captain, isn't it also contempt of court, since the court had directed the ministry to bring in this law and to implement this law, and today the aviation minister has said that we are placing it in abeyance. Doesn't it count as a contempt?
Of course, it is a contempt of court. A court will have to say what it has to say. So, pilots' body, that's the Federation of Indian Pilots, will put the writ petition in the court, in High Court. So, they we will have to, all of us will collectively go to the court and ask them for a respite or for a resolution or for a solution as to what is this, what does this mean. So let's see. Let's hope that court gives us something which is good for safety of the passengers. It's all safety of the passengers and nothing more to add to it. Because all these things are to see that passengers fly safely, are not put in, any risk conditions amounting to pilot fatigue or crew fatigue, or call it any kind of regulation. So let's see what the court says, and
True.
we'll have a word
Yes.
with them.
Captain, coming to Indigo now, can you explain briefly, why only Indigo? A carrier that takes pride on itself on being very punctual. Why has this particular airline been hit so much harder than its competitors? And to be very precise, do you think that this was a well-planned arm twisting tactic by the airline to get relaxations from the FDTL rules?
See, I don't want to speculate anything without having any kind of a core evidence here, but the narrative build would be such that, number one, the questions can be asked. I'm not saying questions cannot be asked, like you're asking me a question. Same question can be asked to the operator. Did that FDTL come overnight? FDTL has been there for 2 years.
Exactly,
That
yes.
did that phase, the second phase, which was supposed to come from 1st November, was given to you on 31st of October? No. It was given to you long back to implement it from 1st November. Number two.
Yes.
Number three, you had no problem from 1st November to 4th of December. That was almost 35 days. You did not fly with any problem. Suddenly, how come one day an operator wakes up and says, "Oh, I don't have crew"? I'm sure that being such a big operator, I mean, one of the best operators in the world, did not have proper planning. That suddenly overnight you come to know that I don't have enough crew to man my machines. So the questions, like we are not asking questions, the questions are automatically put to them. The passengers will ask the questions. We are the end user. We are the ones who fly the aeroplane. That's all. The passengers should ask the question as to why this happened, and what is the main motive behind it, and ask for a proper investigation in this. And Minister and DGC also had assured us that they will do a proper, thorough investigation and hold people responsible and penalize them. That is what we said, correct? And that's what the regulator also said. So the ball lies in their court as to answer what the passengers are asking. This is not just sudden calamity which has happened, that they were not prepared for it. So
True.
that is, and everything was done with the DGCA's approval only. So now we cannot say that they were not prepared. I mean, that would not be a mature statement to make. So.
True. Captain, before we conclude, I would like to draw our audience's attention towards the screen. And there's this very pertinent issue that we are being seeing at the airports as the situations are getting worse. And there's this issue which is not talked about much, and it's Indigo's ground staff. These employees who have no role in the delays and cancellations of passengers' journey, they are facing the heat from passengers. In a lot of incidents, we are witnessing passengers behave inhumanly with them. And the video that we are watching right now, uh, you can see a passenger splashing water on a ground staff while there is a heated conversation going on. So, what do you think about such behavior? Isn't it high time for people to understand that ground staff has actually no role to play in their flights getting delayed or cancelled?
See, we all know how each country behaves in each manner, and how Indians behave places where we are. And I do not blame anybody. I do not blame the passengers or the poor employees. I have full empathy towards them, but it's called mob mentality. Okay, so if everybody is doing something, everybody follows, and the frustration now multiplies in multiples. So if the 100 people, 100 into 100 times the frustration is high, and people have real important things like doctor was telling us about his experience. Yes, the frustration amounts as the time goes without answer. Now the problem is the only people who are the face of the airline or the face of the company or organization is one ground staff, the other is cabin crew.
True.
Okay, if they come to airport and something happens, the ground staff takes the brunt. If something happens in the aircraft, the cabin crew takes the brunt. Now, who is? Are they the ones who know anything? They don't know anything. They're just following what they were told. They come for job 9 to 5 or 10 to or night to morning, and they do the job and they go back. So holding them responsible, manhandling them is not a human way of doing it because they themselves do not know what is happening. It is the higher ups who are supposed to take the call. It is the higher ups who are supposed to the top leadership, which we call the leadership management, is supposed to take the call and come and resolve the situation. Then hide somewhere. No, giving a statement on social media is not everything. You have to handle the situation there, and it is very very unfortunate. And it will happen if this continues to go without actually giving them a proper prior information, which you showed me in the video. Also, people have come there waiting for 2 to 3 hours. Their tickets have been refunded, but the tickets, I mean, yesterday in one of our other media, the person was saying that the other vendors have become vultures now, where the prices have gone 10 times, where the hotel prices have gone 20 times, and where does a person go who is stranded at an airport and doesn't know where to go? He can't go to hotel, he can't buy a new ticket because they're skyrocketing. So these are the things where the regulator, where the ministry, where the government comes into picture. If not the company, where the government comes into picture and rescues them. That is what we are all saying, that the poor passengers were stranded. Nobody even came there to even assist. So where do they take the frustration now? It's all on the people who's right in front of you, and that is IndiGo. Though they're not to be blamed at all, but it is unfortunate, and we condemn that kind of a behavior. But situation goes beyond our hands. So it is unfortunate what we have seen. I've heard happening in Delhi, Calcutta, where the CISF people had to come and stop the passengers and all. But
Yes.
that's the build-up of the frustration when the company is not telling them what is going to happen. So that's very unfortunate.
True.
So
True.
let's hope that the situation gets resolved soon and the passengers reach the destination where they were supposed to reach.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Captain Rao, for joining us, and thank you for your valuable insights. Before we
Thank you,
conclude,
then.
uh, I would like to draw our audience's attention towards Indigo CEO Peter Elbers, who has just released a video statement, some time back, and he's apologizing to the passengers for the disruptions. He has also claimed that the airline is working towards normalizing the operations, which is expected between December 10 to 15. Have a look at what the CEO has to say.
I'm Peter Elbers, the CEO of IndiGo. I want to share with you that we have experienced severe operational disruptions for the past few days. Since then, the crisis continued to aggravate, with today, December 5th, being the most severely impacted day, with the number of cancellations well over 1,000, or more than half of our number of daily flights. I, on behalf of all of us at IndiGo, would like to extend our sincerest apologies for the major inconvenience this has caused to many of our customers on account of delays or cancellations. The situation is a result of various causes. Yet, for you as a customer, it's important how we as IndiGo address this. We have defined 3 lines of action. Firstly, customer communication and addressing your needs. For this, messages have been sent on social media, and just now a more detailed communication with information on refunds, cancellations, and other customer support measures was sent. Also, we've stepped up our call center capacity. Secondly, due to yesterday's situation, we had customers stranded mostly at the nation's largest airports. Our focus was for all of them to be able to travel today itself, which will be achieved. For this, we also ask customers whose flights are cancelled not to come to airports as notifications are sent on this. Thirdly, cancellations were made for today as to align our crew and planes to be where they need to start afresh tomorrow morning. Earlier measures of the last few days regrettably have proven not to be enough. So we've decided today for a reboot of all our systems and schedules, resulting in the highest number of cancellations so far, but imperative for progressive improvements starting as from tomorrow. With these actions, we expect tomorrow to have cancellations below 1,000. The support of DGCA in providing specific FDTL implementation relief is of great help. Still, there's lots of work in progress, but going forward from here, in alignment with the Ministry of Civil Aviation and DGCA, we do expect to further improve every day. Given the size, scale, and complexity of our operation, it will take some time to return to a full normal situation, which we do anticipate between the 10th and the 15th of December. I do understand that these disruptions have caused much discomfort to our customers and has shaken their belief in IndiGo's reliability so carefully built over these past 19 years.
So this was IndiGo CEO Peter Elbers, who first of all apologized to all the passengers who have suffered due to IndiGo's mismanagement. Uh, the CEO also very specifically said that the airline will take 10 days, approx 10 days, 5 to 10 days to get the situations back to normal. But, what was very significant is that he said that today was the highest number of cancellations that the airline has witnessed, which was above 1,000, and that is more than half of what Indigo operates on a daily basis. But he has claimed that the airline will see fewer cancellations from tomorrow, uh, amounting to less than 1,000. It will be below 1,000, and similarly, the situations will progress towards being normal. So that's all, viewers. This was Daire Gajra for the Free Press Journal. Please let us know about your thoughts about the Indigo crisis and your travel experiences in recent days in the comment section. Thank you for watching.